Good morning, me Jaguars. Today's live instruction is going to be a review for lesson 4, the mini project using HTML. The reason why I'm reviewing this lesson is because it is a major grade assignment that has been out there, and then tomorrow we're going to close that down. I've noticed that a lot of students have not handed it in yet, and I'm not sure if it's because they just don't understand what we're doing. But I want to take a few minutes here now to go back through that assignment to give you like one last chance to try to get it in. It is a major grade. Therefore, if it is not handed in, it will dramatically have an influence on your next progress report card because it's 60% of the grade. So I'm going to go back into that lesson. I'm going to go back over it one more time for those of you who still do not have it in. I have also sent an email home to parents telling them that they need to check with their child to make sure that they have handed in that assignment. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is go into Schoology, all right, because that's where all of our lessons are. I am going to use the virtual section here today because it seems like it is the virtual students that are not getting these assignments in on time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And we're going to go ahead and go into fundamentals of CS, and I'm going to go to Unit 2. Give me a moment. I've got to turn the lights on in the classroom because they automatically shut down when there's no movement. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to go into lesson 4, and we need to have code.org open at the same time. So make sure if you're looking at this, you have code.org open and your Google Drive is ready. All right, so I'm going to open up lesson 4, mini project HTML. All right, and the lesson was given on 10/20. All right, and we actually put out the project guide on 10/13. But I'm going to go into code.org so that those of you who need to get the guide, all right, can get that done properly. So code.org, and I'm just going to go ahead and sign in real quick, and then we're ready to go. Okay, so once again, I'm going to use the virtual section. It says virtual, and I'm going to go into that. And then it was lesson 4. Okay, so here's lesson 4, and it says mini project HTML web page. All right, so we have a lesson overview, review HTML, challenge list, code your page, and then review the page. All right, so I'm going to go to overview, and once again on the overview, the students now know that they will look at the question of the day, they will copy that, and then they'll go to their Google Drive, create a new Google Docs file, name it appropriately, date it appropriately, and paste that question on that Google Docs file with their name and date also on the file, and then answer the question and then submit it to me by sharing the link to the Google Docs file with me. All right, so that's the first thing that we always do. Now, to get the student guide working for this project, they were told to go under resources where it says project guide. And this would be the line that I'm talking about, project guide. This is where they would go. And in this case, they're going to click on Google Docs, and then they're going to click make copy. It'll take it a few seconds to make the copy. All right, so the copy now shows up. The next thing that they do is to rename it. And if they're doing it today, then they have to use today's date. Whatever day you create an assignment in, that is the first thing you type on when you rename it. So let's say today is the day that they're actually going and trying to get this done. So today would be 10/22/20, and then I always put a space and then a dash and then a space. So that would be the name of it. The next thing, of course, is to put it in their Google folder on their Google Drive. So go to File, and I can come down and choose Move. However, if you look over to the left, there is an icon, and that icon is also shown up here on the toolbar, and it does say Move. So this would probably be the easiest way to do it. So you could click Move here, and then it's going to show you your drive, and then you need to navigate to your folder, and it should say Fundamentals, or we call it Fund of CES 2021. So you want to select your folder, and then you want to click Move to put it in the folder, and it says this item will be visible to everyone who can see that folder, and we're going to say Move it one more time. All right, so the first thing, of course, is to get rid of all these lines, because this is an electronic document, not a paper trail document. So we just delete those lines, and then you type in your name, your full name, all right, and then hit the space bar. You can space bar as much as you want. Delete the next line, and then type in this case, if you're virtual, all right, you put virtual, all right. And then space it out with the keyboard, all right? And then, of course, the day that we're working on it. So whatever day that was that you started, if it is today, then you put 22 and you put 20. Now, of course, you can go ahead and edit this thing so it's much easier to read for people. So you want to enlarge it, all right, and you might want to make it bold, and you might want to change the color of it, all right. But anyway, your name is there, the period, and the date. Now, the actual project itself says, in this project, you will define a goal for your personal web page. That means you're creating a personal web page. Then prepare to develop your page by designing it on paper. Then try it out your new HTML skills by developing the page, then reflect on your process. So there are a number of steps. So we're basically using the problem-solving process to create and finish this project. So it says your page will show that you can design a page to reach a goal, use HTML, hypertext, markup language to structure a site, and then write readable code. Step 1, define or state your goal. What personal value would you like to share with the world? All right, so on these lines, which we don't need, so I just basically select them and delete them, you then type in what is something that you value that you would like to share with the world. And it could be almost anything. I've heard and seen students come up with all kinds of things that they value that they'd like to share with the world. All right. And it could be something that's going on in the world today. All right. And some people might write down something like this: all matter. All right. So you're concerned about everybody. All right, but it's something that you wanted to, talk about, that you're concerned about, that you really feel strongly about, whatever it might be. All right. Step number 2 says prepare and design your page. How can your web page design communicate your personal values? Well, the one thing that it will have to do is you're going to have to write uh, using good English and grammar so that people understand what you're trying to point out. So I would say, delete those lines, of course, and then write something that tells them exactly how you feel about something that think is of value. So if I was to use this title that I have above, All Lives Matter, how can my webpage design communicate that value? All right. I'm going to say the information that I provide will be easily accessible and understandable. Okay, so when I go to create the page, I want people to be able to get to it easy, and I want them to be able to understand it. All right, so I should be able to do that with the web page. Now it says what content is important in your web page. So now you're talking about what is it that's really important. Well, using that subject title that I had, All Lives Matter, life is important. Life is important to all. All right. And how should the content be organized so it should be clear what is most important? Well, I'm going to just say I'm going to list the most important things first and then continue then uh, delete the lines. So I'm saying my most important concepts will be stated first, and then I will state. So you're going to fill in that. Okay, so you answer questions, all the questions for step number 2 that says prepare your design for your page. Now, sketch your page. And this is exactly how we did it in the classroom. All right, after going through lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3, we now have some HTML code that we can use to create a web page. And the first code that we use on any web page is the title code or the title tags, and it is called a header tag. So the header tag is achieved once again by using the less than symbol, and I'm actually going to click in here, the less than symbol, and then H1 for title, and then the greater than symbol to close the tag. And now, of course, I would type in my title, and this one might be All Lives Matter. All right, so let's say that's my title, and I just got that information from what I wrote down above. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and now close the tag, and we know that in close the tag, you have to have a less than symbol, a forward slash, and then the name of the tag that you used before, and this would be an H1 that represents a title, and then a greater than symbol. And now I have that line done. Then I can go ahead and hit the enter key a couple of times, and the next thing I want to do is talk. Create a couple of paragraphs about the title. So now we have to use a paragraph tag. So the paragraph tag is created by using the less than symbol, the letter P for paragraph, and then the greater than symbol. That is how we start off a paragraph when writing it in code with HTML. So now I just go about talking about all lives matter. All right. So I'm going to just say a couple of things. Yes. All right, so let's say my paragraph is just one sentence. Of course, kids are writing multiple sentences in their paragraphs, but let's say that's all I have. So then I need to close it with the closing paragraph tag. So once again, that's going to be the less than symbol followed by a forward slash. And the forward slash says I'm closing my paragraph. And then the letter P for paragraph, and then the greater than symbol. So HTML would see that as a paragraph. Now, if I have a second paragraph, I can hit the enter key and I can start it all over again with the paragraph open tag and then type in what I want to say and then close it at the end. Um, I'm going to go ahead. right, so you can see I've typed in a second paragraph, and once again, I'll close it with the closed paragraph tag. All right, so that's a less than symbol, a forward slash, and then the letter P for paragraph, and then the greater than symbol. And this is how we write a closed paragraph tag in HTML. All right, so now the next thing that they were told to do is now come up with some subtitles for their web page. And a subtitle now uses a different tag. It's still a H tag, but we have 6 of them. We have H1 for the largest, or what we call the title tag. And then we have H2, which could be a subtitle tag, and then H3, H4, H5, and H6. I'm going to create a subtitle with H2. So it's going to be the less than symbol followed by H2 saying this is a subtitle. And then I'm going to put the greater than symbol. Now I need to go ahead and type in my subtitle. So you have to do some thinking, and you want it to be a subtitle of, your title. So my title was All Lives Matter. So I'm going to say something like this. So I have a subtitle that just says Take Life Seriously. And now I need to close that tag. And once again, it's going to be a less than symbol followed by the forward slash that indicates I'm closing my subtitle. And then I've used the same tag, H2, and then close it with the greater than symbol. So now that would be a subtitle. Now, as we've been writing code in our classroom, kids now have been told that we'll put a space between all tags. All right, and you can see that I have spaced out all my title tag, my paragraph tags, and now I'm going to hit the enter key a couple times here to space that out also. I'm now going to create another paragraph tag. All right, so now my paragraph is going to be talking about what that subtitle is all about. So once again, the paragraph tag is going to be a less than symbol, the letter P for paragraph, and then the greater than symbol. And then I'll just start typing. Notice I'm not hitting the space bar. I'm just going to start talking. Take Life Seriously is my title. And I'm going to just go ahead and talk about that. All right, so I wrote a little paragraph that represents take life seriously. Of course, it could be a whole lot more text, or we want to try to make it at least 3 or 4 or 5 sentences. So you're giving some good detail, and the reader will be able to understand your point. So I've made it my paragraph, and now I need to close it with the closed paragraph tag. So once again, that's a less than. The forward slash once again says I'm ending the paragraph tag, and then I have to use the code for the paragraph and then the greater than symbol. So now I have a paragraph for my subtitle. All right, and then I'm going to hit the enter key twice. All right, so right now what we're doing is sketching out what we're going to be saying on our web page. Now, if I wanted to continue, I could continue with another subtitle. It would be an H2 tag, and then I would write, the name of that subtitle. And then, of course, I would put a paragraph tag underneath that and then write the supporting text for that other subtitle. So you would then continue on until you have written down pretty much everything that you want to say. All right, as your sketch is now going to be the text that you use in the code that you use in code.org. All right, so now that you're done with that, the next question down below says, what HTML tags will you need for your page? So I'm going to delete that line once again because we don't need that. And you can actually just go back up and look at what tags you need. All right, well, in this case, you need an H1 tag. And I'm also going to put the open and closing. So the closing is going to be the same thing. All right, forward slash and then H1 and then the greater than symbol. All right, in my case, I also needed a paragraph tag. All right, so I'm going to print my paragraph tag and then also print the closing paragraph tag. All right, and that has the forward slash in there. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. Uh, okay, so that's the closing. Now I also have a H2. All right, so I have a subtitle tag. So the open subtitle is going to be less than, I'm sorry, and then H2. And then my greater than symbol in the closing tag is going to be less than with a forward slash, and then the H2 again with a greater than symbol to close. Now, of course, if you have other tags, and we have had other tags that we're using here in the classroom, then you would list them. All right, so that takes care of that. Now, I've answered that question. So the next thing it says, create your page. Once your teacher has approved your design, log into the website and create your page in the web lab. Well, because you are virtual, basically, once you have created your sketch, I'm going to let you go ahead and log in to code.org and then go ahead and create the page. So I'm going to give an example of that. So I'm going to click on code.org. All right, and I'm going to click continue now to go forward. And I can tell you that we need to go to screen number 4 for this activity. Now, I already have something done that we've been doing in the class, and you can see that it is done here. I'm going to kind of get this out of the way. And I just want to show you how you could also do it. All right, now, since I've got all this other stuff that I do not really want to leave, I'm just going to add another HTML page. All right, and I'll just leave it like that. So when you start out, you're going to have something that looks like this. All right, now if you've been following us, what we've done is with lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we probably didn't do anything to them, but we really look at where body is, because that's where it's all going to start for us. So what we do is we click to the right of body, and then we hit the enter key once and then twice, because we want to keep spacing out our code. Now, the easiest thing to get your code in for this assignment would be to now go back to your project guide, and really all you need to do is copy and paste all of your sketch, all right, because it's going to have your HTML code plus your data. So if you just select that and copy it, you can then go back to code.org, and then on line number 8 in this case, all right, paste it. And now you have your code in. And if you even look over to the right in the preview section, you can see that your code is working perfectly and your page is coming alive. All right, so therefore I have my title, I have a paragraph, I have a second paragraph, and now I have a subtitle, and now I have a paragraph for my subtitle. And that is what we did for the mini project. Okay, so this concludes the instruction for the mini project.